Hello, I'm Dr. Yvonne, and I'm here today to teach you about the 4 minor suits of the Minor Arcana. 56 cards, consisting of 14 cards each. And it's really lovely because the major arcana, or the greater secrets, the 22 major cards, are kind of like the black and white drawing of the person you're talking about, the story you're talking about. The minor cards fill in the colors, so it gives you really a much more meaty picture of what's going on. The minor cards are really, really useful in as much as they show what's happening in the background of the person's story as they're living their life. So let's start with the swords today. We're going to talk about swords. Here is my contact info. I do readings. I've done readings for 40 odd years now. I started when I was very young. I was teaching in a school and thoroughly enjoyed doing tarot my whole life. And I do palmistry and numerology. When you come for a reading with me, it's 2 hours, and I do your palmistry for a good hour. It shows me the map of your brain. The numerology is about your life purpose, what you came here to do this lifetime, and the tarot is day by day for the next 1 to 2 years. Tarot are very useful. I do believe in fate, and I also believe free will always trump fate every single time. So you have free will, and some people take the not great free will and go the not right route, in which case they'll end up in front of you asking, where did I go not right? So we can redirect them with the tarot and tell them what's coming up so that we can actually say this is the better way to go. So here we go with the minor arcana, the lesser secrets. Consists of 56 cards divided into 4 suits of 14 cards each, 10 numbered cards and 4 court cards. The court cards are the king, queen, knight and page. Page and jack in each of the 4 tarot suits. The traditional Italian tarot suits are swords, batons, or wands. I like to use the word wands. Coins, pentacles, and cups. The ancient elements represent all 4 of these groups. So wands are represented by fire, change. It's about intuition, spirit, action of the will, inspiration, creativity, energy, initiative, goal-directed activity. The ones are very definitely the underground card, the changes that are coming in as we go along. They're important from the perspective that they're not super important. They don't make big changes, but they bring in underground changes. I always think of it like a nice calm lake with an underground current coming through. Pentacles are represented by the earth. It's money. Pentacles, we love pentacles. It's about the money. It's about sensation, materiality, strength, endurance, growth, reliability, practicality, and accumulation. So whenever we have pentacles coming up in a reading, we know we're onto a good road. The next one, the swords. These are the only not great cards in the tarot. It's an air card. It's about conflict. It's about thinking, thoughts, spoken and written communication, strife and conflict, expressions of the mind. And whenever we see a sword, we want to think about what's on either side of those swords, because if they're good cards either side, you know, the sun or the star or something nice, it simply means a change is coming. If it's 3 or 4 swords together, we need to really give it a different meaning. And we're going to talk about the swords today. So you're going to learn about that today. The cups represented by water or emotions. It's about feelings. It's about the action of the emotions, love and affection, dreams, desires, fantasies, pleasure, friendship, social activity, romance, and receptivity. So let's make a start on the swords. The Ace of Swords. It's not always a not good card. It just says, absolutely, it's a fresh start, a sudden opportunity or idea, clarity or operation. It can mean surgery. It says, be strong. And usually, if I've got kind of neutral cards around this card, I will say it's time to cut off from the past to the person I'm working with. It's time to move on. It's time to clear people out of your life, clear things out of your life, clear jobs out of your life that are not working for you. So it's real, put your foot down, get rid. If it's surrounded by, say, the Knight of Swords, which is actually the true death card, you know there's probably going to be an operation or there's going to be something around illness. And what you don't say, oh my God, someone's dying or someone's ill. You say, is there someone who's expected to have an operation soon around you? Or, you know, is there someone who's possibly got, you know, something seriously wrong with them? Ask a question rather than be too direct, because that's all they'll remember from the whole reading for you. If you're too direct, that's all they'll remember from the reading. So we need to kind of say it in a nice roundabout way. And people kind of say, oh, yeah, my mom's got cancer. She's dying. Or, so my friend just had an accident or something like that. So you'll be fairly accurate with it. You just need to be careful about how you use the wording around the swords. The Two of Swords is about indecision. It's not your choice. It's out of your hands. If you look at the lady, she's sitting there with the sword. She doesn't know which way to go, but she can't see which way to go. She's got a blindfold on. The Two is about crossroads. It's about choices. It's about relationships. And she's absolutely stuck. The moon, if you look in the background, is only a partial moon. It's only a new beginning moon. It's not a full moon yet. She hasn't got the whole picture. So, and she's sitting by the water. And it's actually not, big waves. It's just kind of disturbed. So it says, be aware that you have no choice in this one. So someone might come to you and say, how are we going to deal with my relationship that isn't working well? Nothing you can do about it right now. You're kind of stuck because it's up to them where they go with this and whether they want to work on it or not. However, you really have no choice here. It's a no choice card. It's about being stuck, I guess, in some ways. It's a bit barren if we look at the background. The mountains are fairly barren. There's no castle there. I'm not walking towards anything. And there are rocks in the water, which means that there are issues around. The Three of Swords, not a good card. It's about heartbreak, betrayal, arguments, and grief. Real arguments. We're not talking just little minor disagreements. We're talking the three. We're talking about being disempowered. Number 3 is the empowerment chakra. Number 3 is the balance card, the triangle, which has 3 sides. It's the most balanced shape. And it says, I'm not balanced. I'm not feeling empowered. I'm feeling completely like out of it. Look, the clouds are there. There's a storm happening. It feels like literally a dagger to my heart. I'm not feeling great. How would you say that in a reading? You'll say, this relationship's not going well. As simple as that. Or there's things around you that are happening that are you're not going through a great time right now. And they'll say, yeah, no kidding. Don't please read it as something that it's not. I want you to be very careful with the swords, because people tend to overread them, overemphasize them. You have to look at the cards either side of them or underneath them to show what they're supported by, or it may just be minor disagreements and then something like the Page of Wands next to it, which means she's having arguments with the daughter. And it's like, back off, take some time off, be careful not to disempower this girl. She's already feeling disempowered. She's a Page of Wands. If she's a Page of Pentacles, a businesswoman kind of young girl, she's going to butt heads with you. Sorry, it's like, you're going to see someone who's strong coming at you. So it's about really interpreting the cards according to the whole picture, not just one card. The Four of Swords, don't like this card at all. It's about meditation, rest, retreat. It can really indicate illness, the beginnings of an illness. It's a 4, remember. 4 can be 4 foundation stones for the future, or a prison of your own making. So you're going to tell the person, please watch your health. If you look at the background, it is in a church. There is light. If we have faith, look, we need to pray. We need to do hypnosis. We need to do meditation. The guy's lying there in his coffin. And it literally says, it's not a death card. It definitely isn't a death card. It says retreat, be a hermit for a little while. Just back off from everything and just think about things, because it's time to realign yourself with the universal consciousness, with God, with light, with life. It's about meditating, retreat, so that you can actually get your body balanced again. Basically said you've been doing too much as well. The Five of Swords, definitely this is around other people. Remember, the 5 is the throat chakra. It's about gossip. It's about mind games, hostility, and it's about people around you talking about you. And you can just say there's a lot, if a work situation, particularly this one shows up quite a lot. And you say, wow, there's a lot of gossip at your work, isn't there? And they go, yeah, no kidding, right? And you just need to say, keep out of it. It's not your job to be there. 5 is the number of communication. So it says communicate with people, be nice to them. No point. You're not going to win this one if you take up an argument with these people. He's got the sword in his hand. He's kind of sniggering if you look at his face. And it means that you really need to watch what you say to people, because you don't want to be at the other end, the not right end of this gossip. Good. So the 6 of Swords, this is interesting. It is, you can translate this a lot of different ways. It's leaving, accepting help, going somewhere better, leaving the past behind. So if we look here, it's a 6, which is about relationships, remember? Lower level of the 6 is marriage, higher level of 6 is help and humanity. And this 6, literally on this side of the boat, look, we've got rocky water. On this side of the boat, it's beautifully smooth. And we're rowing towards some new beginnings. We're rowing towards some trees. Look, they're not green. So we're hoping for a better journey in the future. It's leaving the past behind. And this man is helping this woman and a child, look. It's accepting help, just sitting there and just being part of this moment and saying, would someone help me, please? So it's a natural card that says you're ready to leave the past behind. You're ready to walk away at this point. The 7 of Swords, interesting one. It says you're going to sneak away. Look at him, he's sneaking away there. He's got secret plans, he's abandoning the ship. It says it's time to find some time for yourself. It's time to sneak away. The 7 is a number of spiritual growth. It's a number of getting in touch with God, in touch with harmony, in touch with life. And it says take some time for yourself, sneak away, get out of here for a little while. If you look in the background, there's celebrations going on, there's all sorts of other things happening, and probably too much is happening in this person's life, so they need some time for themselves, right? Basically, he's carrying all his issues with him, look, as well, with those swords. You know, you need to get away from the issues, not just to carry them around with you. Good. The 8 of Swords, not a good card. This is really, even though 8 is a really good number, 8 is about money, but it's also about self-worth. So it says this person's self-worth is really down on the ground, feeling powerless and helpless, ill and trapped. And it's being trapped in a prison of your own making. It is an illness card. So you need to look at the other cards around this to see if it's not illness with that person you're with or whether it's someone around them. It'll show up as another person, another one of the court cards to show you the person who's around them. And it says they feel completely trapped. So if you're doing a reading with someone and the card comes up, you can say, wow, you feel completely trapped right now. And they'll go, yes, I do. And you're showing them with the card. You're using your imagination, remember. If you look through the cards there, through the swords, there's that little castle there in the mountain again. So they're not even seeing the little castle on the mountain. They're not even looking at the hope for the future. They're just standing in mud, look. Even the water isn't very clear. It's a not very pleasant card. And it just says, you know, start finding some self-empowerment. Start looking at things in a different way, from a different perspective. It's kind of a depression card. The 9 of Swords, I regard this as like one of the worst cards, one of the least good cards in the pack. It really is. If it comes up with the Ace of Swords and the Knight of Swords, it means death. And you don't say that, by the way. You'll say, is someone around you very sick right now? Or, you know, who is it? An older person. I always say an older person because they may not think of an older person, but they may say, yeah, my friend is not well right now. So, you know, you've got to be super careful with the swords, like I said. There's an overactive mind, anxiety, serious illness. So someone may come to you and say, I've got cancer, is there any hope for me? Are you going to say no? Are you not going to say no? Because you're going to bring out some beautiful cards either side of it and say, this is about you. A 9, it's a completion card, remember. And the work they've been putting in is paying off or not paying off according to how physically well they are or how mentally well they are. So this is saying, stop worrying, get your health checked out. You know, you want to give them something to do rather than tell them how they are right now with this one, because it's not a great card. I regard it as probably this first or second least card in the pack. So be aware, if it comes up, you need to definitely look at the cards either side of it. It could be someone who's just had a marriage breakup. It could be someone who's just, you know, had an accident. It could be someone who's just been diagnosed with something. And you need to be very careful with it. You just say, this is not a great card. It's showing illness or a feeling of being really down. Is that how your life has been recently? And gentle into it, gentle into it. We don't want to just say, oh my God, you're obviously really sick. It's not a good way to approach people. They already know what they came to you for, and they'll give you a little clue at that point. It's not about leading them. It's about being gentle with them. And the idea is they need kindness. If they've got this kind of card coming up in their numbers, they need to have kindness from you. So be very clear and very kind about the things you say, especially with the sword cards. The 10, again, 9 and 10 are the least good cards in the pack. feeling defeated, self-sabotage, endings. So if someone says, is there hope for my marriage? I don't think so. And what you say is, it doesn't look like it right now. Make it, again, a modified way of saying no. The 10 is a number 1. So it's about, think about yourself. It's an ending. It's a completion. It's like you're feeling completely defeated right now. However, and then you're going to put down the next 2 or 3 cards and find out what they can do to change how they're feeling right now. However, in the future, in another week, you are blah, 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 blah. So we have that presented to us as a possibility, and we also need to move on from that. Okay. It's not great if you look, my apologies, whoops, get about that. If you look, it's very barren in the background. The sea is kind of muddy. The guy is lying there completely dead, I guess. It's not a death card, though. It's actually it's an illness card or a self-sabotage ending card. It says you're self-sabotaging right now. You're basically throwing yourself under the bus. It's got all these black clouds above it, look. So be very aware that that's where that goes. The Page of Swords is not happy. She's not a happy camper. If it represents your inner child, if you're a lady, she's not pleased with you. It's mentally unstable or intellectually immature, acts without thinking, and a happy inner child. I always say when I've got a lady in front of me, your inner child is not happy with you right now. When you were 5, you promised her she'd have fun and joy and freedom when she grew up. And look at her. She's saying, I thought we were going to have fun when we grow up. And you've been saying, no, we've got work to do. No, you need to listen to your inner child and make her happy. She's saying she's uncomfortable with you. If this is someone's daughter or someone's niece, then you're going to say, this is someone who's not happy, someone who's going through some real issues right now. And if you look in the background there, you've got the birds. You've got the birds ready to fly. She's feeling like getting out of there. She's had enough. She's standing on a nice little hillock. She's got a nice tree in the background. So there is hope there. And the clouds are not black clouds. They're just clouds. It's just, she's confused right now. It's a confusion card more than anything else. The Knight of Swords, here's the Death card. So you don't mention death, please. You do not say, oh, this is the Death card. You know it's the Death card. They think the Death card is the Death card. It's not. The Death card is just an endings card. It's a new beginnings card. The true Death card is the Knight of Swords. And it can be also for someone who just is pursuing a goal into the unknown. So if it comes up with something like an Ace of Pentacles, a new career opportunity, and then this, it says, go for it, just do it. If it comes up with a lot of other swords around it, then you're going to say, you know what, there's probably an ending happening soon. You don't use the word death, please. It's not a nice word to use around people. That's all they remember from the reading. They'll call you up in 2 days and say, you mentioned death, who's going to die? And at that point, you can't remember who they are, never mind what you talk to them about, because you're in trance when you're doing a reading. Remember, you're using your intuition. So this is someone around you unexpectedly ill, or is there a person around you who's been in hospital recently, or, kind of couch it in very vague terms. They'll know what you're talking about, and they'll pick up on it and say, yeah, my dad's in hospital, or my mum just had a heart attack, or someone just had a stroke or something. And your job is to kind of cushion it round. I've sometimes say, they'll say, how's my mom? She's been, that'll come with the illness. And I'll say, it doesn't look good. I'm sorry, it doesn't look great for her. All right, that's as much as I'll say about death. It doesn't look great. And they'll accept that because they already know when they come to see you that things aren't wonderful, right? So fierce, determined, aggressively pursuing goals, or flight into the unknown. It's kind of charge. And of course, death is kind of like that, like charge straight into the unknown. Who knows what's on the other side? We all know what's on the other side. It's great. However, we want to make sure that we give that person a feeling of security and solidity, not just take the hope away from them. That it's like, there is hope. There's always hope. Remember, death is a new beginning. So very definitely, this is for your knowledge only, that this is the Death card. You don't want to let any of your clients know that truth. Okay? The Queen of Swords. Intelligent. She's a writer, a communicator. She's cold. Strong woman or divorced. So if someone says, yeah, they'll say my boss isn't a very nice person. She comes through as the Queen of Swords. You'll say, yeah, she's a bit demanding, isn't she? And they'll go, yes, she is. If someone's about to meet, a man is about to meet someone new, and it's the Queen of Swords, it'll be a woman who's a leader, but she's divorced, and she's divorced. And you just say she's a divorced woman. She's a nice lady, knows what she wants. She's very clear about what she wants. She's very strong. In the background, if you look, you've got a few. She's had a past which hasn't been great. She's got a few dark trees there. She deals with the clouds. She's got a nice little bird above her head, which says she knows herself. She knows who she is, and she's offering help. Look, that hand out there says, I'm offering you help. I'm giving you advice. I'm not being mean to you. I'm just giving you advice. Okay, so yeah, the Queen of Swords is very definitely. If a man comes to you and says, how's my wife doing? And the relationship isn't great right now. You'll say she's not doing well in the relationship. You need to start communicating with her, because this is kind of a divorce card. The last one in the swords is the King of Swords. Again, a divorced man. He's serious, he's controlling, he's rational and mind intellect focused. Not a good person to marry if you're thinking of marrying this guy. He will come across as fairly demanding. It can just be a divorced man. So you might be meeting someone new who's a divorced man, and he knows his mind, he knows who he is. He's definitely been through at least one relationship. Look, he's got a couple of trees there in the background that have turned dark. He's also got the two birds there. So he knows that he has a feminine side to him. You just need to be able to bring it out in him. The King of Swords, when he comes up in a tarot reading, if it's a boss, it's not a very kind boss. If it's a husband, he knows who he is as a bit of an aggressor. If it's a friend, it's time to get rid of them. If it's someone who is an ex and you're getting divorced or something, if you've got the Justice card next to it, which is contracts, which is legal dealings, it's really definitely you're going through a divorce right now. So those are the swords. They're not good as you think they are. I want you to be very careful when you're using wording around the swords to make sure that you actually use great language and great support for the person there. When you first start doing it, you may come out with things and suddenly realize, oops, shouldn't have said that. And then you literally go on to some nice cards, bring up some nice cards and say, it's not as much as I thought it was. Modify it, please. Modify it, please. They've come to you because they need some kindness. They need some help. They need to feel good about themselves. And that's your only job with this, is to make people feel great and have hope, because they come to you without hope. So giving them hope is a really important thing to do. Dr. Yvonne here. We'll see you next time. Bye.